Good evening. I don't even know if I need to talk after that ovation for Adele. Welcome to the 2016 State of the County Address in Vanderlyn Hall, located on the beautiful SUNY Ulster campus. Our Safety and Security Office has asked that I make one announcement. In the event of an emergency, please be aware of the 2 exits to this room, one in the rear in which you entered and one on my right. I will not do the stewardess pointing. At this time, we also ask that you please silence any cell phones and electronic devices you may have. And lastly, although it may not be timed properly at this point, ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to introduce the County Executive Chief of Staff, Adele Ryder.
Well, thank you and good evening. Thank you first to President Roberts and the Board of Trustees for graciously hosting us again on the beautiful SUNY Ulster campus. We are so privileged to be joined tonight by individuals from all segments of our community, our amazingly creative and talented artists, our dedicated educators, healthcare providers, and business leaders, our valuable not-for-profit organizations, and last but certainly not least, our great friends in labor who have been so instrumental in so many of the projects we have and will continue to complete. We are also pleased to have several members of our community boards and committees who generously volunteer their time and work to make Ulster County an even greater place. And we have some of our tremendous staff who makes all that we do possible. We thank each of you for giving us the opportunity to report to you on the state of the county. And as we do that, we are also pleased to have with us our excellent elected officials and representatives who are working hard on your behalf, and I would like to introduce them to you now. So Dwayne Posterpak, and would you please just stand for a moment so everyone can see where you are? Dwayne is here representing U.S. Congressman Chris Gibson. Thank you. John Quigley and Heidi Haynes representing New York State Senator George Amador. We're also pleased to introduce our county-wide elected officials, our wonderful Sheriff, Paul Van Blarkum, all the way in the back of the room, and our excellent County Comptroller, Elliot Auerbach. Elliot. Now, delivering results for the people of Ulster County requires a partner, and we look forward to working closely with the 2016 Ulster County Legislature. On behalf of the County Executive's Administration, I want to congratulate the recently elected chairman of the legislature. We look forward to working with you, and we wish you much success, Ken. So it's my pleasure to introduce, and would you please stand, Ken Ronk, the chairman of the legislature. A special thank you to the majority and minority leaders of the county legislature, and if you could also please stand, Mary Beth Mayo and Hector Rodriguez. And completing the legislative team that's here with us tonight, the Majority Whip, Carl Belfilio. Carl, could you please? Ulster County has been able to provide service while simultaneously reducing taxes by being fiscally responsible. And this has required a partnership between the county executive and the county legislature. So we owe a special thank you to the chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, and it is my pleasure to introduce Legislator Rich Gerentine. Rich, would you please? And please allow me to acknowledge our legislators that are with us as well. John Hepner, Herb Litz, Chris Allen, Jennifer Schwartzberkey, Tracy Bartels, Jim DeLawn, Manna Jo Green, Ron Lapp, Craig Lopez, right here in front, and John Parody. We have some former legislators also joining us tonight, Kathy Meem and Don Gregorius. Don? Great, thank you. Also joining us are some of our hard-working officials from our towns. Carl Chipman, the supervisor of the town of Rochester. Carl? Mayor Tim Rogers of New Paltz, Supervisor Neil Betez of New Paltz, and last but certainly not least, we'd like to thank our gracious hosts once again for allowing us to join you tonight at the beautiful SUNY Ulster campus. Dr. Roberts, Dr. Alan Roberts, the president of SUNY Ulster. And joining him are Chris Marks, Lorraine Salmon, Tim Sweeney, Francoise Janevsky, and I think that's it. Anybody else that would like to be introduced tonight? Okay. At this time, please rise as the Ulster County Sheriff's Honor Guard presents the colors and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Yes, please.
Freeze, dead! Out!
Okay, Courtney Shealy is joining us tonight. She's going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. She's a current Ulster County student at SUNY New Paltz and a former graduate of SUNY Ulster, and she will also sing the national anthem. So, Courtney.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming in the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Out, out! Out!
Please remain standing as the colors are retired.
Outward. Out. Out.
And now I would like to invite two of Ulster County's excellent spiritual leaders to join me at the podium, Reverend Darlene Kelly of the Clinton Avenue United Methodist Church and Rabbi Yitzchak Hecht of Congregation Agudas Achim in Kingston to offer the invocations. Thank you.
Will you pray with me? Eternal God of all people and places, Fill us with gratitude and grace, and open our hearts to the mighty force of your healing love. Gather us in as your community of servants, filling us with the energy and righteous wisdom to do your will, to create peace, abundance, and justice. Gather us in so we may grow together, promoting the best of our humanity and soothing the wounds of our needy. Open our hearts to one another and our eyes to the beauty of our beloved land. Give us ears to hear your voice, O God, and open minds to work together to solve our problems, to watch over one another with loving kindness. Keep us mindful. Guide our souls, our thoughts, and all our actions, that we might break down hostility and that which divides us, so we may continue to build a county full of promise and creative compassion. We humbly ask that you watch over our County Executive Mike Hein and all who work for our great county. Continue to bless them and their families mightily, dear God, as they have so blessed us. Sustain them through the challenges of reform and renewal. Bless their efforts and keep them fresh and innovative, filled with grace and led by your Spirit as they do the hard work of governance. And bring all of us, Almighty God, your people, all of those gathered in with us tonight, and all the souls in this county called Ulster. Bring us vision and health, clarity and courage, that we may continue to bear witness to the marvelous possibilities of the human spirit and the great gift of our community. Amen.
It was beautiful. Thank you.
A man comes into my congregation this morning. It did happen this morning. And he says, Rabbi, I have a dilemma. Someone comes into my office yesterday. I'm sitting in my cubicle. My partner's sitting in the next cubicle next to me. And he says he wants to pay an invoice. Do you accept cash? I told him yes. He gives me a bundle of bills, and he leaves. It's supposed to be $1,000. I counted out, it's $1,200. He says, my dilemma is, do I tell my partner? Well, thank God in Ulster County we don't have to worry about people with such morals. We're gathered here together today for the state of the county of Ulster. Avinu Shebashamayim, God and God of our fathers, we ask that our wonderful county executive, Mr. Michael P. Hein, be successful in his responsibilities as county executive, and that all those who work under him be true public servants, and all their work should find favor in both the eyes of man and the eyes of God. Heavenly Father, help us to be honest enough to admit our shortcomings, brilliant enough to accept flattery without it making us arrogant, tall enough to tower above deceit, strong enough to treasure love, brave enough to welcome criticism, compassionate enough to understand human frailties, wise enough to recognize our mistakes, and humble enough to appreciate greatness, staunch enough to be thoughtful of our neighbors, and righteous enough to be devoted to the love of God. O God, give the blessings of success to all these public servants under the leadership of our great county executive, Mike Hein. Bless this assemblage here tonight and their families and loved ones with happiness, peace, love, and prosperity for all. And let us say amen.
Thank you both. That was just absolutely beautiful. Ladies, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, over the past 7 years, we in county government have taken directives from the citizens of Ulster County. Be innovative, be bold. Tonight, you will hear the county executive discuss some of the accomplishments of this past year, but know that they are not all your government has done. We have been bold. We have been innovative. We've had sweeping reforms. Innovation and change resulted in the increased services our residents required while providing the protection our taxpayers deserved. 2015 saw the introduction of a smartphone app to help victims of domestic violence. Ulster County continued to climb in the Robert Wood Johnson health ratings, and we celebrated our 5th annual Healthy Ulster County Week. We have an improved, streamlined public transit system with routes linking Kingston and the Metro North train station, as well as a real-time bus tracking app for your phone. We were the first county in the state of New York to ban the box. Our high school students participated in an anti-dating violence video contest, while our younger students made a beautiful quilt to celebrate kindness during No Name Calling Week. And for cold nights, we opened the first county-wide warming center. We are proud of these achievements. They are but a few of the sweeping changes that have come to Ulster County. And sweeping changes have come to Ulster County because our government is led by someone who has a vision of the future and the promise it holds. Someone who has been recognized nationally by Governing Magazine as one of the finest elected officials in the country. He has not only seen the value of change, but has embraced it. He has questioned why be traditional when we can simply be better, be innovative, be bold, be a model, be Ulster County. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to introduce Ulster County Executive Michael P. Hein.
We'll give him lots.
You were wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much. I don't know that I can compete with the minister and the rabbi, though. Ladies and gentlemen, in the world of business, there's a name for highly creative people who don't just reform around the edges, but instead relentlessly rethink everything. Courageous individuals who refuse to accept the status quo and push well beyond traditional boundaries, and in the process, accomplish things that were previously thought impossible. And as a result, our society is somehow altered. New opportunities are created, and we move into the future in an entirely new direction. They're referred to as disruptors because they completely disrupt the status quo. And in a small way, at the county government level, that's what we've tried to do from the very beginning. Because if we had just accepted the status quo or operated a typical government, then the great people of Ulster County would have suffered, and that was unacceptable. So instead, we chose to innovate and create entirely new models that are now replicated across New York. If we had just shied away from tough choices or innovation, then we never would have addressed the looming crisis at Golden Hill or restructured county government, delivering millions in tax cuts and millions more to our town and city governments. And if we were willing to accept the status quo as the only choice, then we'd still have homeless veterans sleeping under bridges, vulnerable seniors stuck on waiting lists, and inner city kids struggling to access higher education. And the dream of a world-class rail trail system would have remained only a dream, while our long-neglected roads and bridges would have simply begun to crumble. But that's not what happened, because we completely disrupted the status quo and made the difficult calls and reinstated county government from the ground up. And so now we have a community college satellite right in the heart of our city, and young people are learning there as we speak. We have a model nutrition program for our seniors that's second to none. And instead of complaining about the unfairness of the national tragedy of homeless veterans, we did something about it, creating an amazing home to serve these vets in their time of greatest need. And that rail trail dream, the one that seemed impossible, it's now well on its way to reality, and our roads and bridges are being upgraded at a record-setting pace. And most of all, I am proud to say that long overdue county monument, honoring those who gave their lives fighting for our freedoms, is long overdue no more. So if this is what it means to be a disruptor in government, then I'm thrilled to have an administration full of disruptors, smart and dedicated people whose only focus is making things better for the great people of Ulster County. And if that means shaking the establishment in the process, then I'm proud to be a disruptor too, because the stakes couldn't be any higher. Take, for example, our environment. The realization that human beings are capable of damaging our planet so severely as to bring about our own demise is an idea that seemed inconceivable only a generation ago. Now, with rising world temperatures, melting ice caps, and dramatic changes in global weather, almost every thoughtful person acknowledges that climate change is here. For all of us, this kind of problem can seem overwhelming. But the exciting truth is, important and meaningful change can happen at the local level with each and every one of us. And so I'm excited as county executive that here in Ulster County, we've taken many steps, some big and some small, to make things better. From changing light fixtures to LEDs to trading plastic water bottles for modern water-saving fountains, we've changed. We've also added one of the highest concentrations of municipal electric car charging stations in upstate New York, thanks to our partnership with our Chamber of Commerce. And with my executive order requiring our county to purchase 100% of its electricity from renewable resources, I'm pleased to say the United States EPA now recognizes Ulster County as one of the top 25 green power municipalities in America. Thank you. Yes, we're changing, and those changes are adding up. In fact, we've changed so much that we're the first and so far only county government in the state of New York to become net carbon neutral, and we're hoping that others will join us soon. Now, it's been said that we don't inherit the earth from our parents, but instead we borrow it from our children. And so we're not done. We're moving forward this year with over 10 acres of utility-scale solar at both SUNY Ulster Stone Ridge campus right here, as well as the former landfill in the town of Ulster. And we're now setting an ambitious goal of having Ulster County government 30% off the grid by 2020, something unheard of anywhere in the state of New York. Thank you. And on top of that, it's my pleasure to announce an exciting new opportunity for Ulster County businesses, one that improves the bottom line and helps our environment in the process. You see, we've worked with Central Hudson, so they will now offer electric car charging stations to any qualified business, as well as tourism destinations at a tiny fraction of the regular cost. That means by partnering with our business community, Ulster County could well have the highest concentration of EV charging stations in the nation, attracting more millennials, more tourists, and more companies that want these types of amenities for both their employees of today and their customers of tomorrow. And I'm proud to say Ulster County is not only doing its part, but with these types of exciting initiatives, we're continuing to lead the way. And it's that kind of willingness to innovate that has allowed us to come so far. And because of that progress, I'd like to take a moment and thank the members of the Ulster County Legislature for your incredible partners. The truth is, many of our most significant initiatives would not have been possible without the votes and support of the Ulster County Legislature. And in partnership with the legislature, there is no service that we provide that is more important than the ones we provide to our veterans. From small steps that provide kindness, dignity, and respect, to large and sweeping reforms that address major national issues, Ulster County is truly focused on helping our American heroes. With the Amazing Patriots Project, we set out to do nothing short of solve a national problem of homeless veterans at the local level. And in Ulster County, we did. Today, the Patriots Project has proven to be an overwhelming success. Open 18 months, we've now served 32 formerly homeless veterans, and as a result, their lives have been changed forever. And as we serve our veterans, we must also always keep in our hearts those brave American soldiers who've made the ultimate sacrifice. So I am proud to say the county's memorial to the over 1,300 Ulster County residents who gave their lives in defense of our freedoms is now completed, open to the public, and will stand as a testament to their bravery forever. They are our friends, our family, our neighbors, and our heroes, and we owe them, as well as all our veterans, a debt we can never truly repay. Thank you. And for those brave and amazing and humble American heroes who still walk among us, we've made massive upgrades to our veterans operation, plus doubled the number of accredited service officers to help our vets cut through red tape at the VA that often stands between them and the benefits they so justly deserve. We've also enhanced the Favor program that provides our vets with discounts at hundreds of local businesses and now their spouses too. And because we have such great respect for our veterans, I'd like to share with you a brief story about making things right and honor that spans hundreds of years. We were contacted by an elderly gentleman, deeply concerned that a rural family gravesite located in the town of Rochester would soon be lost to history. And what concerned him most was the fact that this was the resting place of a United States veteran. When we arrived, the site was nothing short of disgraceful. There were broken bottles and scattered gravestones and trash in a wooded area so overgrown it was almost unrecognizable. And then our team went to work. Partnering with the Daughters of the American Revolution to preserve history, we painstakingly restored the burial site. It turned out to be the final resting place of Revolutionary War veteran 2nd Lieutenant Moses Depew, a descendant of the founders of Rochester and a decorated soldier from Ulster County who rose through the ranks to not only serve our country, he actually fought in the very creation of America. And so I'm proud to say this site will now forever be preserved with the honor, dignity, and respect it deserves, because the great people of Ulster County will never forget our veterans. Thank you. And as we remember, I often think about the principles and opportunity that America was built upon. Ideas that still shape the decisions we make today. And that's precisely what inspired us to conceive of and build the Kingston Center of SUNY Ulster, a satellite campus in our community college right next to an inner-city high school, providing real hope for improved access to life-altering, low-cost, higher education for adult learners and all students, including some of our most disadvantaged. And as we all know, education is the great equalizer, changing the trajectory of someone's life and in the end, reducing the nightmare of generational poverty for our entire community. And though you can't put a price on that, I'm very proud to say that while typical government construction projects are notoriously behind schedule and millions of dollars over budget, this $7.8 million transformational project was completed on time and on budget, and because of my administration's securing major grant funding from both public and private sectors, the entire project was completed with zero impact on local taxpayers. Thank you. See, when government is creative and responsible, it can do the impossible. It can protect taxpayers and invest in areas that others only dream of. That's also why we don't shy away from difficult decisions that others typically avoid. And as a result, we've saved a great deal of taxpayer money that we've utilized to pay for real and meaningful change. Meaningful changes that affect every segment of our society, like our seniors, with a completely reinvented Meals on Wheels program that eliminated any waiting lists, improved food quality, and added a first-of-its-kind senior care coordinator to help some of our most vulnerable seniors, especially when they find themselves hospitalized, frightened, and alone. And because we saved money in other areas, we're also able to help more seniors throughout Ulster County stay in their homes while still remaining active, independent, and healthy. And it's precisely that willingness to save money in other areas that made it possible to make the largest infrastructure investment in our county's history last year, with over $15 million to dramatically upgrade our system of roads and bridges. And since our residents deserve so much more than just superficial repairs, we've taken on the Herculean task of redesigning the entire system to prepare for future traffic needs and greater pedestrian safety. So I am thrilled to say that we've dedicated another $15 million this year to bringing our two-year total to $30 million. And to underscore the magnitude of this, that's more than 10 times the infrastructure investment that was made in the year 2000. And I recognize, absolutely. Thank you. Now, this kind of investment is only possible because of the financially responsible partnership with the Ulster County Legislature. And as a result of that partnership, adjusted for inflation, Ulster County property taxes are actually less today than they were all the way back in 2007, 9 years ago. Simply put, embracing innovation and change works. Taxes are down, spending is down, unemployment is down, private sector job growth is up, and there's more access to critical services for our citizens than ever before. All because collectively, we were courageous enough to reinvent government and reject the status quo. The state of our county is strong, and it is strong because responsible leaders focused on putting people over politics while remaining willing to make difficult choices and embrace innovation. So instead of government on the edge of insolvency, which is where we started, we're now ranked as the most fiscally sound county government in our region by the State Comptroller's Office, all while providing millions in relief to local governments. But unfortunately, even with all this, our community is not immune from danger. Ladies and gentlemen, the system is broken at its core, and taxpayers at every level are at risk. You see, it's not just county property taxes that are placing pressures on businesses and residents. It's the combination of taxes from towns, cities, schools, plus counties, as well as many other taxing jurisdictions that together are creating a looming potential crisis and overwhelming far too many hardworking families. Over the past 7 years, Ulster County has undergone nothing short of a metamorphosis. Unlike every other government in the state, for us, it was never about the tax cap. Instead, it was always about lowering property taxes while delivering a better government. And so now we're 30% smaller, and we reduce county spending by over $32 million. So what's the problem? Well, it's not unreasonable for any taxpayer to ask, if you've saved over $32 million, then where did all that taxpayer money go? Well, I'm proud to say that we utilized a significant portion to do what many thought was impossible. We gave it back to the people by lowering their county property taxes. Plus, we reinvested in our infrastructure like never before and greatly enhanced services for those among us most in need. But the largest portion went directly into providing a massive amount of assistance to the governments of our towns and the city of Kingston. We did this by absorbing a whopping $22 million worth of their safety net expenses over the past 4 years. And over the next 4 years, we'll provide even more relief, absorbing an additional $32 million. That's $54 million in relief for the governments of our towns and the city of Kingston over an 8-year period. Now, some might argue that since Ulster was the last county to take over this expense, even though it was an enormous amount of relief, the county was merely making things right. And though some strongly disagree, I couldn't agree more. In fact, I agreed so much that I was actually the one who designed the final plan that broke the logjam and got this done after 20 years of contentious debate. But ladies and gentlemen, $54 million is a lot of taxpayer money. And while I have a great respect for the talented and hardworking leaders and amazing services provided at every level of government, if we are to be completely honest with our taxpayers, the truth is the current system is totally unsustainable and things have to change. Because with all the relief we provided, the widespread property tax reductions that the legislature, myself, as well as our citizens had anticipated did not happen. And so I'm proposing something bold tonight. To protect all taxpayers, as the county executive, I am willing to put everything on the table. And I am inviting everyone else to join me, to examine each and every essential service provided to our citizens and collectively decide who is best equipped to provide that service. Whether it's the towns, the city, the county, or even through partnerships, we have to disrupt the entire system because it will collapse if we do not, and our taxpayers will be the ones that suffer. So if our taxpayers are to truly benefit from the massive government reform that has already occurred at the county level, then the entire system has to embrace fundamental change. And the good news? The state has proposed a $20 million challenge grant to help municipalities just like ours reinvent a sustainable government. So I invite my colleagues to join me at the table, to be innovative, to be bold, and to reinvent the entire system together, to put aside politics and self-interest and simply do what's right for the people, because working together, we can make real and meaningful progress. And progress is something we're familiar with in Ulster County. On a small scale, we've made that kind of progress in the long-standing debate between Tourism Railroad and the creation of a world-class rail trail system. Ultimately, we will connect the breathtaking walkway over the Hudson with the magnificent Ashokan Reservoir, benefiting communities and economies all along the way, all because we now have a segmented railroad rail trail agreement for the entire county-owned Ulster and Delaware corridor. And over the next few years, the entire system will be linked together, including a linear park in the city of Kingston that delivers on the promise of social justice, connecting inner-city families with low-cost, high-quality food and providing recreational opportunities and enhanced access for people of all ages. Thank you. Now, as the legislature can attest, obviously getting to this historic railroad rail trail agreement on the Ulster and Delaware corridor was not easy. I don't know if everyone is aware of this, but over the past few years, there have been some mild controversy on this issue. And though you may find it's hard to believe, apparently not everyone saw eye to eye. And so I want to commend the Ulster County Legislature for their commitment. And they worked so diligently on this issue. Their thoughtful deliberation was instrumental in resolving this debate. Congratulations. But I am also proud beyond words of my entire team, who never blinked in the face of relentless and often disgraceful public misinformation. The truth was, my administration always wanted both railroad and rail trail operations to thrive, and everyone actively involved in the process knew that. But we also always knew that the only way to accomplish both of these was with a responsible and segmented plan. So it is incredibly rewarding to have the segmented compromise plan that we laid out over a year ago essentially become the final plan that everyone ultimately agreed upon. And now, it's exciting to know that our community can, at long last, move forward on this complex issue together. Because we have an extremely busy and important year ahead of us. And the county will once again move forward with an aggressive agenda from both the county legislature as well as my office. And there are a number of key areas in addition to rails and trails that I believe we must take action on together. Areas like family court. I believe the legislature must make a decision soon as to where the family court facility will ultimately be located. And on solid waste, the legislature must determine a long-term sustainable county policy for dealing with solid waste produced in our communities. The legislature has been so vigilant on so many other issues, but a decision in this area is now long overdue. And we must also decide exactly where our new fire training facility will be built. So I formed a task force with the Ulster County Fire Chiefs Association, and I'm inviting 2 legislators from both sides of the aisle to join us to help locate the county's new multi-million-dollar fire training center that will benefit and support all of our amazing first responders. The legislature has also been a tremendous partner in protecting the animals of our community who can't speak for themselves. So in addition to creating our new county dog park, we've passed a comprehensive anti-tethering law, plus an animal abuse registry and enhanced animal sheltering to help victims of domestic violence. And now, as we collaborate to end animal cruelty, let us pass a responsible breeders law that will further protect the health and safety of our beloved family pets. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let us talk about cyberbullying. I believe it is essential that we work with parents, superintendents, school board members, teachers, and all concerned stakeholders to have the hard conversation about how to best protect our children. Cyberbullying is on the rise, and the reality is those who are bullied are up to 9 times more likely to commit suicide than those who are not. And as a county executive, I have no desire to go to even one more wake. So I believe our government must take a look at keeping up with technology. And our legislature will have an important opportunity to do something about this by designing and passing effective legislation that helps protect our children. And protecting our kids has become more complicated now than ever. As a county, we've worked extremely hard to reduce the harmful impacts of opioid and heroin addiction by investing over $1.1 million in education, treatment, and other important steps like making sure our first responders have easy access to Narcan to help them treat overdoses and prevent senseless tragedies. And soon, we'll also have a dedicated family advocate to assist individuals and families in obtaining treatment and navigating the often daunting world of insurance coverage. But even with all these efforts, there is still so much left to do. To assist in this effort, we need to reach beyond our community, to our policymakers in both Albany and Washington, since it's becoming more and more common that people struggling with heroin got their start by using prescription pain pills. Counties across New York have been successful in getting some of these unused medications out of people's medicine cabinets and off the streets through programs called Shed the Meds. And Ulster County has led the way with some of the highest number of prescription drug collection boxes in upstate New York at our sheriff's and town police departments. And while these efforts are important, they're not nearly enough. You see, unlike their pharmacy, many folks feel uncomfortable going into police stations, so they simply don't. The practical, convenient, and most impactful solution is to require large commercial pharmacy chains who make billions selling medication to New Yorkers to simply take back the unused portion of the narcotics they sell. Now, I'm not talking about small local pharmacies with limited budgets. I am talking about huge national chains that clearly have the means to do this. And though this may seem like a common sense solution that should already be in place, unfortunately, there's a massive loophole in our laws. The industry has powerful lobbyists. So the existing state and federal laws are not mandatory. So no one has to participate, and very few do. I am asking the county legislature to join me in urging our lawmakers in Albany and DC to protect our children by demanding large pharmacy chains simply take back the unused portion of the very medication they make billions in profit by selling. Thank you. I believe the legislature and I also need to have our voices heard over and over again on the Pilgrim Pipeline and the potentially explosive oil trains. Together, they represent a serious public health risk and dangerous environmental hazard. While deteriorating trestles and other aging infrastructure, oil trains are primed for a disaster. Often referred to as bomb trains, they travel through our highly populated areas with schools and hospitals and near environmentally sensitive places like the Hudson River and the Rondout Creek, just to name a few. They pose an incredible potential danger to our communities and especially our first responders. Because the industry's dirty little secret is that no significant oil train fire has ever been put out. They simply let it burn and deal with the consequences later. And with respect to the Pilgrim Pipeline, it actually functions as two pipelines. One with volatile Bakken crude headed south and another with highly flammable refined fuel headed north. And the bottom line is this: neither oil trains nor the pipeline directly benefit the citizens of Ulster County. And I want to be clear, we're not being asked to choose between oil trains or the pipeline. What's currently being proposed is both. All of the danger and none of the benefit. I believe our legislature must be aggressive in this area if we are to fully protect the amazing residents of Ulster County and our pristine environment too. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And though all these challenges are extremely serious, it's also important for us to remember that there are amazing things happening and opportunities taking place every single day. In addition to our fast-growing tech sector, our tourism industry is skyrocketing. As a four-season destination, tourism revenues are up 33% since 2006. Now, I want to put that into context. That means without a Metro North Station and 100,000 less people, Ulster County has a larger tourism industry than our neighbors in Dutchess. All while our agricultural industry has experienced a $500 million renaissance with our farm hub and evolving family farms, plus wonderful craft breweries and distilleries that now utilize our high-quality local produce. There are also two new sports teams in Ulster, the Sorgety Stallions baseball team and the Kingston Stockade Soccer Club, and we're working on exciting projects like Wildberry Lodge in New Paltz, a marina and hotel project in Sorgeties, and a B&B conference center in Shongam. We're also helping Buttermilk Falls expand in Milton, a Williams Lake project in Rosendale, and we're just getting started with the new owners of Twin Lakes in Hurley on a renovation and expansion project there too. And in Kingston, there's an exciting new project at the old Woolworths building that, when open later this year, will house a Grand Central-style food court selling locally grown food and 3 large commercial kitchens. And all of these are just a small sample of the exciting activity going on in Ulster. And even with all this, there's an opportunity for so much more, especially if we can work together to level the playing field in a number of key areas. Areas like state action to provide the same kind of oversight for Airbnb-style facilities as currently exists for our hotels. And also in highly technical areas like shovel-ready reform to bring this important economic development tool into this century. And what's really exciting, we haven't even discussed an industry that may very well have the largest upside of all. You see, we're fortunate in Ulster County to have more artists per capita than anywhere else in the state. And our creative economy has the potential to be big business and a great employer. The truth is, our creative economy could be and should be so much stronger. With our tremendous natural beauty and fantastic communities, we are home to countless movie stars, producers, writers, directors, and studio executives. High-powered decision makers who not only live here, but desperately want to work right here in Ulster County. They already know about our diverse locations, incredible historic structures, and high-quality and experienced talent. But with all that said, our county has a major problem. And that problem is we're being discriminated against in Albany and unfairly excluded from a critical state tax credit program, one that was designed ironically to help upstate counties better compete for film and television productions, but defying all logic, doesn't consider Ulster County as upstate New York. To drive home how absurd and unfair this is, 84% of all upstate New York counties are included in this program, but we are not. And that's fundamentally wrong. You see, film and television productions have the ability to go anywhere in the world. And these tax incentives are critical to successfully competing and attracting the millions of dollars that are spent locally. There are currently a number of international cities as well as other states receiving huge benefit from thoughtful tax policy. And the potential economic value here cannot be overstated. As an example, since 2008, when a similar tax credit program went into effect in Georgia, the entertainment industry's impact jumped from $260 million to $6 billion just last year. But the reality is, because we've been excluded, that kind of benefit isn't available to us. We're disadvantaged as we compete with Georgia and other states, and we're also forced to compete with our fellow upstate counties with one hand tied behind our back. And unfortunately, this issue is much more profound consequences than just making it difficult to attract a single film production. You see, we've also had multiple inquiries from entertainment groups looking to site large film studios and other new media production right here in Ulster County, and these efforts are being harmed by this illogical tax policy. Modern studios and new media facilities have the capacity to create hundreds of high-quality tech-based jobs and millions of dollars of additional business for our local economy. And with our growing tech sector and large number of local residents already in the business, we're uniquely positioned to engage the entertainment industry. In fact, joining us tonight to highlight the importance of this issue is award-winning actor, director, and producer Mary Stuart Masterson, someone whose list of accomplishments is far too long to read, though I did think her work in Fried Green Tomatoes was amazing, and I've never actually met someone who hosted Saturday Night Live before. Mary, thank you very much. Now, she's not just a star and an incredible talent. She also lives right here in the Hudson Valley and wants to bring millions in sustainable investment to our community. She leads one of the entertainment groups looking to bring major production facilities to Ulster County. But the reality is, this tax credit issue is undermining investment and harming these projects. All we're looking for is basic fairness. Other counties have been added to this program in the past, and it's important to note, including Ulster County, wouldn't increase the state's cost for this program by 1 single cent. At its heart, this issue is about economic development and fairness. So we need our county legislators to join me and our state representatives in a strong bipartisan effort to level the playing field. Albany is in session right now, and the state budget is being debated as we speak. So time is of the essence. Let's make this right, and in the process, let's make the creative economy in Ulster County the enormous success it can be. And again, I'd like to once again thank Mary Stuart Masterson for joining us tonight to highlight just how important the opportunity is before us. Thank you again, Mary. Now, we've been talking about many large and sweeping issues tonight. But for me, all this ultimately always comes down to people. Amazing individuals with their own hopes and aspirations. Families trying to make ends meet, and small business owners working hard for the American dream. That's why I'm so proud to be from here. This is where I was born and raised, and I'm honored to be the county executive. And because we've created such a unique government that embraces innovation and change, we're able to say to that senior who's wondering if they can stay in their house just a little longer, the answer is yes. And to the teenager who's wondering if they'll get a chance to go to college, the answer is yes. And to the veteran who's wondering if their community still cares, the answer is a resounding yes. And when we talk about things like sustainability, what we're really talking about is what kind of world we want to pass on to our children. Will they inherit all of our debt, our pollution, and the results of our unwillingness to change? Or will they inherit all the hope and possibilities that come if we agree to be innovative and bold together? So I invite you to join me, to be a disruptor too, to demand more and to embrace the fact that Ulster County's future can be limitless, if we're only willing to try. Together, we have proven that we are capable of profound change. So let us dare to make a greater Ulster County. Let us dare to be innovative. Let us dare to be bold. Imagine what's possible if we do. And if we do, I know in my heart that Ulster County will forever be the finest place anywhere to live, work, and raise a family. God bless each and every one of you.